Law number 45. Preach change but never reform quickly. Everyone understands the need for change in the abstract, but on the day-to-day level, people are creatures of habit. Too much innovation is traumatic and will lead to revolt. If you are new to a position of power, or an outsider trying to build a power base, make a show of respecting the old way of doing things. If change is necessary, make it feel like a gentle improvement on the past. Sometime in the early 1520s, King Henry VIII of England decided to divorce his wife, Catherine of Aragon, because she had failed to bear him a son and because he had fallen in love with the young and comely Anne Boleyn. The Pope opposed the divorce and threatened the king with excommunication. The king's most powerful minister, Cardinal Wolsey, also saw no need for divorce, and his half-hearted support of the king cost him his position and soon his life. One man in Henry's cabinet, Thomas Cromwell, not only supported him in his desire for a divorce, but had an idea for realizing it: a complete break with the past. He convinced the king that by severing ties with Rome and making himself the head of a newly formed English church, he could divorce Catherine and marry Anne. By 1531, Henry saw this as the only solution. To reward Cromwell for his simple but brilliant idea, he elevated this son of a blacksmith to the post of royal counselor. So far, as we've seen in Law 36, disdain things you cannot have, this strategy was a great success. King Henry successfully impregnated his new, fertile wife and could now rest assured his legacy would carry on. But this new character, Thomas Cromwell, he wasn't in any way subtle about his approach. He envisioned a new Protestant order in England, with the power of the Catholic Church smashed and its vast wealth in the hands of the king and the government. And his ways of going about it were unabashedly bold. He began to seize the holdings of the churches and monasteries of England, putting them out of existence one by one. Virtually overnight, England was converted to a new official religion. A terror fell on the country. Some people had suffered under the Catholic Church, which before the reforms had been immensely powerful, but most Britons had strong ties to Catholicism and to its comforting rituals. They watched in horror as churches were demolished, images of the Madonna and saints were broken in pieces, stained glass windows were smashed, and the church's treasures were confiscated. 1535 powerful revolts in the north of England threatened to topple Henry from his throne. By the following year, he had suppressed the rebellions, but he had also begun to see the costs of Cromwell's reforms. The king himself had never wanted to go this far. He had only wanted a divorce. Consequences of change. 1. The man who initiates strong reforms often becomes the scapegoat for any kind of dissatisfaction. 2. Eventually, the reaction to your reforms may consume you, for the uncertainty that change brings with it unsettles the commoner. Never underestimate the hidden conservatism of those around you. It is powerful and entrenched. Never let the seductive charms of an idea cloud your reason. You cannot make people see the world your way. You cannot wrench them into the future with painful changes. They will rebel. If reform is necessary, anticipate the reaction against it and find ways to disguise the change and sweeten the poison. When Cesare Borgia faced great disdain from the populace for all the gruesome actions that had come with his ascent to the throne, they wanted immediate change or a revolution would have broken out. Cesare picked up on that, blamed Ramiro di Orco, made a public display of his spiked-up head, then went on to throw many balls, fetes, hand out food, basically appear like a saint. In short, he calmed the people who had wanted his downfall with prompt change and strategic generosity, as seen in Law 40 with Louis XIV, by leaving the dark past behind and announcing the good times that lie ahead.